Yerzek Garcia, and have you ever thought about adopting a child? Okay, well, adoption is a great opportunity for couples or potential parents who are not able to have children to have their own child to love and care for. There are many different reasons that people choose to adopt a child. Adoption provides a chance for unwanted children to become loved and live the happy life. Okay. There's people such like Steve Jobs or President Clinton, and athletes such like Eric Dickerson and Dante Culpepper, that if they wouldn't have been adopted, they wouldn't be where they are now. Okay. So one of the main reasons people choose to adopt is because they may be unable to conceive children. Others do it because they are prone to miscarriages and do not want to risk the chances of losing another baby. Some parents might adopt their stepchildren or children of relatives who are failing financially or emotionally. Okay. The process of adopting a child can be lengthy. It usually takes about 6 months to go through the process, and there is a 10-step overview taken from the National Adoption Center website. And it says that the first thing to do about abortion is to learn adoption, is to learn about it. The second step is to select an adoption agency, and then you will need to have a home study completed, meaning that they would have to go into your house, search the premises, like around where you live, if it is a safe place for children, make sure that you have no dangerous things around. Okay? And once you have that done, you will have to exchange information with the child's agency. Okay, once you learn that you have been selected for a child and you already know who it is, you are going to start going to meetings and visits with the child so you can learn about them and they can get used to you. Okay? The eighth step is to receive a placement or date. You will receive the child and you will be finally able to take him home. After that is done, you can finalize your adoption. And the last step is to live as a happily and adopted family. There are two types of adoption available. There are three types, and I'm going to be talking to you about them from this PowerPoint. There is domestic infant adoption, foster care adoption, and international adoption. Okay, what is domestic infant adoption? Okay, so the domestic adoption refers to the placement of U.S. born infants for adoption by their birth parents who legally consent the adoption with an adopted family of their choosing. This means that whenever two people have a baby and they decide that they don't want the baby for themselves, they can decide who they can give the baby to, meaning that they get to choose the family and they can do the home visits and stuff like that. Then we have foster care adoption. Foster care adoption is the adoption of a child in foster care whose biological parents' rights are terminated by a court. The child may be adopted by either foster parents or adoptive parents. Okay, this usually happens when the child is taken away from their family for neglect or abuse. So the court decides that the parents have no legal right to their children, so they get to decide who the child will stay with and how long they will be with them for. Okay, lastly we have international adoption. Okay, this is a type of adoption in which an individual or couple becomes the legal and permanent parents of a child who is a national of a different country. Okay, it generally lets people from the US adopt kids from like Canada or Africa or Mexico and to bring them here into the US, but they have to meet the legal requirements for all of this. And once the child has been brought over here, it will become a legal resident of the United States. Okay, what do you need to adopt? Okay, in order to adopt, you have to be at least 21 years of age and you have to be financially stable to make sure that you and the child are both living in good conditions. You have to be a responsible, mature adult, and you have to complete an application that somebody will help you complete it. Okay, you will have to share information about your background, style, what you do, your hobbies, what you enjoy doing, and provide related and non-related references that would say if you're worthy of having a child. Okay, and then you would have to have a proof of marriage and or divorce, meaning that you have to be married if you want to adopt a child. And you will agree to a home study, which includes visits to all household members you have listed on the relatives side. Okay, you will allow staff to complete a criminal history background and the abuse and neglect checked on all adults in the household. Some of the requirements for adoption. Okay, first they're gonna have to make sure that the children have adequate sleeping space, meaning that you can't have more than 6 children sleeping in a room together. You are not allowed to have 6 children at the home, including your own children or children from whom you provide a daycare, because they think that if you have more than 6 children, you won't especially care for one. Okay, you will have to agree to non-physical discipline, meaning that you can't whoop them whenever you feel like it. And you will have to permit a fire, health, and safety inspection of the home. You will have to have all the pets vaccinated, and obtain and maintain a CPR and a first aid certification. Okay. Another thing is that usually around with the family, you're not allowed to share pictures, phone calls, or have face-to-face interaction with the family, with their birth family. An agency adoption is basically where the process is arranged by a public or a private adoption agency. A private adoption is basically that you get to choose the children you want, and you get to meet them before time and stuff like that, With an international relationship, there are 2 types of process. One of them is a Hague Convention adoption process. Okay, and usually this process requires consent from the birth parent or legal guardian in order for you to adopt this child. If you do an international adoption, people usually have to go to your house and see where you're staying and how the state that you're going to be living in is. Okay, well, today I talked to you about adoption, and I hope you learned about why you should adopt a kid. And I'm going to show you my audience.